feed on Facebook, or they do what they did here and they run a 1-minute lead ad sending to a VSL on a landing page where you have more control over the funnel. But again, you'll have less impressions on the actual VSL, but you'll have more targeted quality traffic. So this is how they do it. I have a link to the ad here. They start with a curiosity-provoking question that's focused on positives. That means it's promising a benefit instead of highlighting fear. So it says, what is the ideal way to eat protein? That's the hook. It's engaging and it's an open loop. And it's a question. So if you're interested at all in health or protein, you're going to watch this. And especially it creates that curiosity and what is the ideal way? You want to find out, you keep watching. Next sentence, this is where we capture that attention and we start to turn it into engagement and interest. One of the best sources for protein on earth doesn't even come from animals, it's actually from plants. So it's taking a commonly held belief that it comes from animals and attacking it subtly. And what this does is it heightens awareness. When a common belief that people have, or even that the general collective consciousness has, is challenged, awareness peaks up. And that's where we enhance attention and we start to turn it again into engagement. Then we have to dissipate their skepticism, because anytime we go against a commonly held belief, whether it's a personal belief, a belief of our marketplace, or a belief of the human race, there's going to be skepticism. That's our natural reaction. That's how we're conditioned. So we have to dissipate that skepticism. And one of the best ways to dissipate skepticism is to simply acknowledge it. When you acknowledge it, it takes the tension out of it. If you were to not acknowledge skepticism, they would go through the rest of this lead with that skepticism holding on to it in the back of their heads, and they would not engage as fully as we want them to. So here's how they acknowledge it. A lot of people find it hard to believe that plants can provide enough protein for humans. That's what the viewer's thinking, right? Either consciously or subconsciously, that's the thought. And by bringing it out and putting it on screen into words, we take away the tension, because we're not afraid of that skepticism, and we show that very clearly by acknowledging it. So that dissipates it. In fact, I've heard more than a few people say something like this: you need to eat meat to build muscle. Again, we acknowledge and bring forth that belief of skepticism against the point that we're making here, that you can eat protein from plants, which is dubious. I don't know if that's, but let's focus on the VSL. Then we overcome their objections. And we do this with proof and demonstrations. You can do this either with studies, with social proof, with an expert authority figure. In this case, they do it through a demonstration. So what that means is showing very clearly and simply how this process actually works. So we want to show them, you'll see in a second how they do it, but we want to show them that you don't need animal protein to build muscle. And this is how we do it. Silverback gorilla, which has enough muscle to rip the door off a Chevy, but eats almost nothing, but leaves and shoots all day. So a good way to do this for any other niche is, let's say for back pain, you can demonstrate it by saying the people who live on these islands in Japan live to 100 years old or 90 years old on average, and back pain is a foreign concept to them. That's a demonstration showing a real case where the new belief that we're giving them is true. Another one is for weight loss. You can say there's people who never diet and exercise and stay slim, or you can say in the 1960s there wasn't gym and health food stores on every corner, but people were slim and attractive. Why is that? It's a demonstration of what we're saying. So we're not just giving them a concept. You can use plants to build muscle. We're showing that in action. Or a thoroughbred racehorse strapped with muscle, one of the fastest physical specimens in the world, which forages on nothing but grass and water every day. You might think, sure, that works for gorillas and horses, but humans need meat to survive, don't they? So now that we've dissipated their skepticism, we've demonstrated with proof, they still have skepticism. So we acknowledge that, okay? But these are animals, we're humans, we need meat, don't we? Now we need to address this lighter version of skepticism. So now we look at what's happened here. They say now they've accepted the fact that, okay, you can build muscle with plants, but can humans do that? In the beginning, they just said, no, you need animal protein to build muscle. Then we give examples of animals that build muscle without animal proteins. They say, okay, so perhaps it's somewhat true. So now it's less skeptical, but maybe humans need it, right? So we're whittling down their skepticism. And now we get on the viewer's side. We say, like I said, I do love animal meat, but we don't need it at all. The best reason to eat plant protein may actually be for your overall health. So we acknowledge it. We put ourselves on the viewer's side by agreeing with them. I love meat. It's great. A lot of people eat it, but you don't need it. And then we transition them. So now the skepticism is sufficiently, dissipated and acknowledged, and we're not attacking them. Now we change lanes completely, because we have their attention and their engagement, and we transfer their attention off of this myth or this, contentious point of, do you need animal meat to build muscle? And we transfer it to, actually the real thing about plant protein is for your health. And this is very powerful, because all their skepticism is about eating plant protein to build muscle. And we're kind of acknowledging that. They're starting to whittle that down. And then we get rid of that completely. And we say, no, you know what? The real reason is actually for your health. There's no skepticism for that. And now we're going to go into the call to action. So we take all this this energy of first attention, then engagement. We engage them. And now an interest. Engagement simply means that they're paying attention and they're investing their energy into the content that they're consuming. And now we turn that into action. So we're going to call them to action with a reason why, what they're going to get from taking action. Remember, that's important. You don't just tell them to take action because it's all about them. All kinds of marketing and communication is about the person consuming it. So what are they going to get for taking action, for doing what we request of them, what we tell them to do? Here's what they're going to get. In the next couple of minutes, I'm going to reveal to you the truth about protein. So you're going to close this loop and you're going to get information, valuable information that's relevant to you. I'll also reveal the simple protein hack. That's like a little bundle of value. When you name something like that, it's like you're going to get some valuable, actionable information that you can do just a few times a week too. And these are the benefits you're going to get. Boost your energy, manage your weight, improve your digestion, and achieve the whole body health you deserve. So that's what you're going to get from these information. So the the feature or the functional benefit you're going to get is you're going to get the truth about protein, and you're going to get a simple protein hack. And what it's going to do for you is it's going to boost your energy, you're going to lose weight, you're going to have better digestion, and you're going to get healthier. That's what the functional benefits are going to do for you. That's the dimensionalized. You can go deeper, but in this case, it's a short, compact, concise lead. That's what you're going to get as a direct result of learning this information. And to get it all you have to do is click watch more, and you'll discover the top 3 sources of plant protein now. So we incentivize them to take action. Curiosity, I'm going to reveal the truth about protein, open loop. Promise of value, you're going to get a protein hack that's going to allow you to do this. And then we leave them with a little bit of skepticism, curiosity, and an open loop, the top 3 sources of plant protein. And the only way to resolve that tension, because every time you open a loop, you create tension. And the only way to resolve it, you want to be in charge of resolving the tension that you created. So the only way to resolve it is to take action, and you'll resolve that tension. And this is how they get relevant traffic who's interested in health and protein. We prime them. We take away their skepticism. We get them interested and curious. And then we give them an action to take where they'll go to the VSL. And everyone who lands on that VSL is going to be qualified traffic, interested and engaged traffic, and they're going to be ready to watch and consume the VSL. Versus if it was all on Facebook, it would be less qualified traffic, because by taking action, you're increasing commitment, you're increasing buy-in. Every time you take an action towards a certain idea, you become more invested into that idea. So this is a great way to get very qualified traffic onto your VSLs. And all you have to do then on your media buying side is lead ads. So on native ads, in email, on Google, on Facebook, they're just doing these lead ads to that VSL. And it's a very clean funnel, and it's much easier to manage than you're running the entire VSL on Facebook, because then your whole campaign is kind of out of your hands, which again, there's nothing wrong with running it all on Facebook. You'll get great results, but you have more control when you have your VSL on your own landing page. And you'll also have much higher quality traffic, again, to keep the market very fresh, because nobody's going to see that VSL unless they're qualified and they've taken action. So that VSL will last a lot longer, versus if you put it in feed and everybody sees it, whether they're interested or not, or whether they're semi-interested. The only people who would click watch more here are people who are, it's the next step of qualification. So this is a basic example of how to use a lead. And the last thing I'll tell you is that you can use this exact structure to write a lead that leads in then to the rest of your VSL and have it all on Facebook. All you'll have to do is change the CTA. That's literally it. So instead of click watch more, it would just be, so keep watching for the next 90 seconds to discover the top 3 sources of protein. And then you transition into the body of your VSL. And then the lead is modular. You can just change it, switch it out, and find the best one that creates the most conversions at your desired cost. So you would just take this out and you'd put instead, keep watching. And you'd have that. Keep watching for the next 90 seconds to discover the top 3 sources of protein now. And that's how you just lead this into the rest of your VSL. All right, so this is an example of a lead. I have a lot more examples of these. I'll probably share them at some point and put them all together into a easily consumable and usable swipe file. But for now, this is just a basic breakdown. Again, the link is to the ad so you can see how they do the video editing. I hope you enjoyed this video. All my links of my resources are in the description, where you can get everything you need to launch and scale an e-commerce brand using direct response and a swipe file to model off of and to have a starting point of advertorials and VSLs. So literally everything you need is in the description. Hope you enjoyed. Leave a comment. I'm open if you want to DM me to chat. And peace out. Take it easy. Have a good one. Bye bye.